G'day guys, Bitcoin has just hit $73,000 and this is probably going to be your last chance to get rich in crypto, and I'm going to give you the exact steps that you need to follow in order to make millions of dollars. So if you like the sounds of that, make sure to like and subscribe and let's get into it.
Bitcoin, please go to moon. Stop going sideways now. Don't ever say we going down to 1K, but Mr. Novogratz say we have bottomed out, Novogratz is bullish, bottomed out, don't ever rise is deadish.
Bearish target of 1300.
Novogratz is bullish.
Bitcoin could be at 40,000.
Let us go to moon.
So the first thing, guys, is we need to understand the opportunity that we have in crypto. So guys, a 9 to 5 job isn't going to cut it anymore. And that's because inflation is out of control because they keep printing money and devaluing our currency, and wages are just not keeping up with inflation anymore. That's why back in the day, only one parent had to work and they could provide for their family comfortably. But now 2 people working full time can barely even get by. And this has been done on purpose. Make no mistake, guys, but what are we going to do? How are we going to set ourselves up? How are we going to get the house that we want, the car that we want, and provide for our family? Well, crypto is going to be your best opportunity to get that, because the wealth gap is going to get bigger between the haves and the have-nots, and you want to be on the side of the haves. Now, what's the alternative? Well, things are just going to keep getting harder, and inflation's just going to keep going up, and the wealth gap is going to get bigger. So you have a choice. Do you want to struggle and barely get by? Or are you going to do something that's going to change your life and change your family's life? So guys, the first thing you need to understand is how bull and bear markets work. Now, I don't know if you guys are aware, but we are currently in a bull market, and I'm about to show you that on the charts and break it down for you. But in a bull market, you want to follow the trend until it ends. So this means not shorting in a bull market. You want to be looking for long positions on dips, whether that's short-term leverage plays or you're just buying and holding spot if you're a newbie investor. And you have to understand, guys, that the trend won't last forever. There will become a time where we will enter into a bear market, and you want to be out of the market before that happens, and you want to have taken your profits so that you don't get wrecked in the next bear market. Now, guys, let's take a look at the Bitcoin chart for a second. Now, what can we see? Well, Bitcoin is actually printing a bull flag pattern. Now, this pattern here is actually a continuation pattern, and you can see the bull flag that we are printing in here. Now, what typically happens is this pattern typically breaks to the upside, and you can actually get the target move by measuring the neckline and putting that at the breakout point. So this actually gives us a target for Bitcoin to break out around that 100K level. So that's my first target for Bitcoin. And a reason why I think 100K is going to be such a strong level is because it's also a psychological level, 100K. Now, when we actually pull a Fibonacci extension, we can actually get some price targets for where Bitcoin is likely to be headed. Now, our first price target actually lands us at exactly around $104,000. So this is going to be a level where I'm going to be looking to take profits in the short term, because I would be expecting Bitcoin to push up to this level before getting a potential pullback and then putting in that fourth and final leg into my green box, which is actually at our next Fibonacci extension level, which is where I'm going to be looking to cash out of the market at around that 150K level. So this is my strategy that I'm going to be sticking to make sure that I don't get caught off guard when we do enter into a bear market. Now, when we zoom in, there are a lot of indicators that are actually suggesting that we're literally days from breaking all-time highs and going into price discovery. Well, you can see we were in this bull flag consolidation trending sideways for the last 5 or 6 months. Well, what have we done recently? we've actually broken into bullish market structure. And this is where we're putting in higher highs and higher lows. Previously, we were in bearish market structure where we were putting in lower highs and we were putting in lower lows. And this is bearish market structure. Well, now we've actually reversed that and we've broken into bullish market structure where we're actually putting in higher lows and higher highs, and this is extremely bullish. And as well, we've actually gone above a key level of resistance, which was my blue box here. The fact that we are now above that level and holding that as support, this is saying to me that we're about to break out to the upside and get that big run up to 100k like the bull flag is projecting. Now, what can we expect when Bitcoin breaks out, and how can we expect our altcoins to move? Well, one coin I like to look at and compare is Doge, because Doge is a great indicator of the strength of altcoins. Well, when we actually have a look at our previous cycle, we can actually see, and I'm going to zoom in here a bit. So we can see at the point of Bitcoin reaching its all-time high, what was Dogecoin doing? Well, it was actually going sideways. It was doing absolutely nothing. But it's only once Bitcoin actually broke out into price discovery and got above the previous all-time high and went parabolic, the Dogecoin then followed afterwards. So if we draw a line here, we can see that at the point of Doge actually breaking out and exploding, it was after Bitcoin had already made its big move and was consolidating at the highs. So I would be expecting something very similar to happen as well. I would be expecting Bitcoin to make its first run up to around that 100k level, which is that psychological level. And until Bitcoin actually hits that level, I'm just expecting these altcoins to go relatively sideways and then explode afterwards. And we can see this in the Bitcoin dominance chart, which I'm going to take a look at in a second. But there's one more thing I want to point out as well. That is, a lot of people were actually calling for the bear market prematurely. Because Bitcoin had this big run up here. Well, this was actually just a pre-bull run pump. What we can see from the bottom here, Bitcoin actually did a move of about 360% in this pre-bull market pump. Well, what have we seen again? Well, Bitcoin has done a 360% move as well. So this entire move here, this is just equivalent to this little move here, and we still have this massive run up left to go for Bitcoin to go into price discovery and for our altcoins to absolutely skyrocket and put in new all-time highs. Now, let's take a look at the Bitcoin dominance chart, because this is an extremely important chart. So what can we see at this chart? Well, the Bitcoin dominance has been rising, and this represents the total percentage of market cap that Bitcoin takes up over the entire crypto market. So when the Bitcoin dominance is rising, it means Bitcoin's outperforming our altcoins. And it's when this actually reverses to the downside. This is when we get our alt seasons where our altcoins massively outperform Bitcoin. Because what we can see here, when we got our last alt season here, when Bitcoin had this big move down, this was actually exactly when Dogecoin absolutely exploded. Well, I'm expecting this chart to reverse very soon and our altcoins to absolutely take off. And I'm going to show you why I think we've actually topped out. Because when we pull a Fibonacci, we can actually see that we've currently come up to the Fibonacci golden pocket here. Now, this is the level that altcoins and Bitcoin like to test before putting in lower lows. So I'm expecting maybe one tiny more push up just to the top of that Fibonacci level at 61% before reversing to the downside and potentially putting in a lower low, which is going to mean our altcoins are going to absolutely skyrocket to the upside. And this is something to be extremely excited about, because when Bitcoin makes its run to 100k, a lot of our altcoins are going to do 20 to 40 extra turns. And for me personally, if that happens, my portfolio is going to be sitting somewhere between $2.5 and $5.5 million. So I'm extremely excited, and I suggest that you guys position yourself before it's too late, because you don't want to be caught buying the top of the market when I'm going to be taking profits. Now, going back to my slideshow, step number 3, guys, is taking action. Don't let fear stop you from what's probably the greatest opportunity you're ever going to see in your lifetime, because the actions you take today are going to impact how successful you are in the future. And the best time to buy was 12 months ago. But the second best time to buy is right now, because altcoins are extremely undervalued compared to Bitcoin, as we can see by the Bitcoin dominance chart. So investing in altcoins now, you're still extremely early. And when they take off, you have so much opportunity to make so much money. But if you're complacent, you're going to miss this opportunity, because when coins pump, they pump fast and you have to be positioned early. And what's the alternative? Do you, 5, 10 years from now, do you want to be in the same place you are now, working the same 9 to 5 job? Or do you want to be on a yacht somewhere, living the best life? Because I know what I want to do. Now, the next step is to figure out which cryptos to buy. So there are thousands of different cryptocurrencies to choose from, and you have to understand the risk versus reward for each crypto is different. Your higher cap coins like Bitcoin probably going to do a 2 to 3x from where it is now, whereas when you start going down the list of coins and go to some lower cap coins, the potential returns get much higher. Now, you want to look for coins that have utility and are solving real world problems, and also coins that have a lot of hype around them, especially newer coins from these cycles, because these are the coins that are going to likely outperform most of the other coins. Now, big communities are important, as well as good tokenomics, meaning that most of the supply is already out, so that you're not being dumped on by VCs who have most of the supply, which some coins do, which is something you need to be careful of. Now, if you want to know the exact coins that I'm investing in that I believe are going to make you the most money, the most profit this year, then you can purchase my top 10 picks for 2024-2025 for only $149. Now, this investment is going to make you so much money. It's a very small price to pay for what could potentially make you hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, depending how much you invest. So if you'd like that, message me on either Instagram or Twitter. My link will be down below. Now, step number 5, guys, is you want to increase your cash flow. Now, this is me a couple years ago. I was working a job that I absolutely hated, but I was doing that job as well as a second job on top of that and my side hustle. So I had 3 sources of cash flow, and I was funneling all of that money into crypto. So if you don't have money saved up that you can invest right now, you need to be working, and you need to find ways to increase your cash flow, whether that's doing side hustles or whatever you need to do. But you need to get money into these markets to build that portfolio so that you can make life-changing gains. Now, guys, the next step is to have a balanced portfolio. Now, this means that a lot of your coins should be safe picks, because you don't want to take on too much risk. You only want a very small percentage of your portfolio to be in these high risky plays that can make you 100, 200x's. But you want to have coins that in the top 100 that are like guaranteed gains, and you want that to be the bulk of your portfolio, because we're not here to lose money. You can risk and gamble with a small percentage of your portfolio, but that's gambling, and we're investors here. We're about guaranteeing profits. And if you're investing in cryptos in the top 100 right now, they're almost guaranteed profits. Whereas a lot of these altcoins that are extremely speculative, they're not guaranteed. Now, what you want to do as well is you want to diversify your portfolio, which means picking cryptos from different narratives. Now, 2 of the hottest narratives right now is AI and real world assets. And I'd probably have gaming up there as well. Now, I would recommend having maybe 20% exposure to each of those narratives. And then you could do maybe like 20% layer ones, and the other maybe 20%, it could be a mix of a few different narratives. That's probably what I would recommend doing at the moment. Now, the next step is to have a profit taking strategy because these coins aren't going to go up forever. And when these coins have done a 10, 20, 40x, you don't want to be buying. This is when you want to be cashing out because, as I've said before, we are going to enter another bear market. It will happen. Prices don't go up forever. Now, I made the mistake last cycle of not taking any profits. I got in over here. Now, I dollar cost averaged through this move down, and when we got this big run up, I was up about $30,000 profit, which was a lot of money for me at the time. But I never took any profits, and I rode it from that peak all the way back down to the bottom of the bear market. Now, if I just dollar cost averaged out, I would have been able to buy so much more crypto at the lows, and I would be in such a better position right now. And that hurt. But I'm not afraid to tell you my mistakes because these are lessons you learn from. And I don't want you guys to make the same mistakes that I did of not taking any profits when we were at the peak. So you need to have a strategy. And what I'm going to be doing is I have my price targets. I'm going to be dollar cost averaging out of my positions. And my price target for this cycle is 150K for Bitcoin. But by the time we get 130K, I'm already going to be taking profits and slowly thinning out my bag. There are a few indicators you can actually use to call the top, and one of them is the Pi cycle indicator. So this indicator has pretty much called the top of every Bitcoin bull run because we can see here when we actually get into this red box here, these are actually tops. So it called the top of this market cycle, and it's called the bottom pretty accurately as well. And you can see every single time we get into this red zone, it's literally a top for Bitcoin. And when price gets back into this zone, I'm going to be heavily taking profits and selling my positions. Now, that's pretty much all I've got for today's video, guys. If you would like to get started trading crypto, you can sign up to Binance using my affiliate link and get 20% off all trading fees. And if you'd like some one-on-one coaching from me as well, just message me on either Instagram or Twitter. But besides that, make sure to like and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter, and I'll see you guys next time.
Bitcoin, please go to moon. Stop going sideways now. Don't ever say we going down to 1K, but Mr. Novogratz say we have bottomed out. Bottomed out, Novogratz is bullish. Bottomed out, don't ever rise is bearish.
Bearish target of 13 punches.
Novogratz is bullish.
Bitcoin could be at 40,000.
Let us go to